Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of CPI Media Group, the publisher of CNME Magazine and TahawulTech.com, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you all to the CIO300 Awards for 2021. Our cloud transformation partner, Digital Okta, our event partner, Texale, our gold partners, Exclusive Networks, Thales and CNS, and our silver sponsor, Lenovo. Well, my name is Laura Buckwell, and it's an absolute pleasure to be your host for today's awards ceremony. And the objective of the CIO300 Awards is to celebrate and pay homage to the technology leaders from around the region that have generated business value through their creative and innovative use of technology during these unprecedented times. To give you a more comprehensive understanding of why we are celebrating these IT leaders, I'd now like to welcome the editor of CNME Magazine and TahawulTech.com, Mark Falker.
Over the last 12 months, we have witnessed monumental changes that have fundamentally altered the way we live, work, and function as a society. Many new trends have emerged and become what we have now termed in the IT industry as the new normal. However, despite the fact so much has changed, many things have remained the same, and one of those is our dependency on technology to create a better society for all of us. Technology underpins everything we do, from banking to shopping and everything else in between. We live in a fully fledged digital economy that is driven by enriched experiences. We have seen how technology has transformed the healthcare industry for the better, through the advent of connected medical devices that has enabled doctors to treat patients in remote locations. The deployment of smart sensors has helped major cities tackle the issue of urban congestion, and almost every major industry vertical has been impacted by disruptive new technologies that has allowed them to adapt, evolve, and meet the challenges of new market demands in the digital economy. This year, the UAE celebrates its 50th anniversary as a nation, and what an incredible journey it has undertaken over the last 50 years. The historic Emirates Mars mission in February was a crowning moment and a further testament to the ambition and incredible leadership shown by the UAE. However, a critical component in the success of the UAE has been the IT ecosystem that has cultivated over the decades that has fostered an environment in which innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship can flourish. All our winners tonight have displayed all these traits and have played significant roles in helping both the UAE and Middle East region to become one of the most technologically advanced places on earth. Over the last 12 months, through their vision, foresight, and conviction, they have helped the Middle East to overcome these challenges and put the building blocks in place for the next digital decade. The CIOs we celebrate today have helped shape this region, and they will continue to do so over the next decade and beyond, and we sincerely thank them for that. It's now time for me to hand you back over to our host Laura to kickstart the CIO300 Awards.
Well, a huge thank you there to Mark Falker. It's time now to announce our first set of winners for 2021. Here we go. Mubarak Hussain, Bloom Holding. Manan Shah, Avalanche Global Solutions. Ali Asghar Buhari, Zuleka Hospital. Manish Bindra, Galadari Group. Jaisil Mohammed, PortingX Technology. Madhu Suthan, Bari and Mazrui Group. Dr. Qasim Nasser, the University of Sharjah. Anindo Banerjee, Dubai Holding Entertainment. Abdullah Al Ali, Dubai Multi Commodities Centre. Imran Ali Saleh, Buoyancy. Dr. Nitin Verma, InterHealth Canada. Kalfan Al Hassani, Monitoring and Control Centre. Badr Al Kubaisi, Abu Dhabi Health Services. Engineer Ahmad Saeed Mohammed Al Sayer Al Nuaimi, the Ras Al Khaimah Electronic Government Authority. Saji Umen, Rack Ceramics. Nithin Geo Thomas, Amity Education Middle East. Mustansir Aziz, Gulf Diagnostic Centre Hospital. Kevin Lopez, Safite by Loisa. Shairum Khan, Emirates College of Technology. and Ali Mohammed Al Ali, the Department of Health. Well, a huge congratulations there to our first set of 20 winners from today's CIO300 2021 Awards. But it's time now to hear from our first keynote speaker of this year's award ceremony, which is going to be Sebastian Pavi, the VP of Sales for the SEMEA region of data protection of the Thales Group.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this Thales session as part of the CIO 300 event. So today, I'm going to talk you through how to make your business more agile, cloud agile, and secure, really when it comes to this cloud transformation and adoption, and really taking the lead through that, through all those changes. Again, ensuring agility and security every step of the way. So, well, the past year and this pandemic definitely has, without a doubt, accelerated the the journey to the cloud for a number of organizations. And just to put a number out there, the average spend has increased dramatically for enterprises out there, reaching now $74 million for the average enterprise. And so, obviously this is to bring more agility to everyone's business and the new models being in place, and really doesn't choose any particular industry versus another anymore. It impacts all of them with varying degrees, but still, everyone, every vertical is looking at a greater adoption of cloud environments all the time. And so this, comes with increased attack surfaces, and so the capacity to detect and respond to all these cyber threats due to this, again, great attack surface needs to be enhanced, and that's still very much work in progress for a number of organizations. And these attacks, can be more often than not, even more targeted towards individuals, especially, and that's also been enhanced and accelerated by the rapid shift to remote work, and more and more employees that have had to work remotely, obviously due to the pandemic. So this cloud transformation is right at the top of everyone's agenda. And so there's a number of reasons for that. One is, so there's compliance mandates that need to be watched, and you need to comply with on a regular basis, that have become a bit more challenging due to this transformation. Internal audits as well. You need to also make sure that you protect your sensitive assets, which starts with so company sensitive assets, customer data, employee data, all sensitive data to look after while going through that. Cloud transformation is obviously a bit more difficult than it used to be, and with the constant pressure, obviously, of the data breaches that hit the news all the time. And speaking of which, obviously, when that always probable data breach actually happens, there's financial consequences to that, which can be quite significant, and that is really driven by one primary reason, which is the fact that the image and reputation of the company, the trust that the business partners or the customers may have put into it, would have been greatly impacted by a data breach. So that has immediate consequences of revenue loss, and then longer term ones, and recovering from that also has a cost to repair this trust and reputation. So there's a few steps that we believe really help, again, lead through those changes and really leverage cloud environments and all the agility it can bring to the business while ensuring security of all sensitive assets of your organization. So, first of all, it's about understanding where your data is, where it actually resides, in which environments, understanding the data flows, and by the way, also who actually has access to it. And then the next step, from our perspective, is really to understand then, once you've located the data, what part of your data is actually sensitive versus not, and ideally have a bit more granularity there, and have different levels of sensitivity of that data, to which you can attach the relevant security policies. Then it's about managing the access to the sensitive data. So it's about authenticating strongly the users that can actually access the data, and more to it than just strong authentication. You want to understand where they're authenticating from, what device they're using. So a bit of behavior analytics behind just the strong authentication mechanisms to secure this access to your sensitive data. Then you want to actually also encrypt it, secure the data that you've now acknowledged and classified as sensitive. And so, encryption does that better than anything else. It renders the data unusable to the unauthorized users. And so really it attaches security to the data itself. And once you've done that, you want to protect the keys, right? Which are now the keys to your sensitive data. So you want to make sure that they are stored and used from and within secure environments at all times. And lastly, you want to have, overall in that cloud journey and let's call it secure cloud journey, you want to make sure that you're going to be able to support hybrid models, because the reality is hybrid. You're not going to have just one type of environment, or just use the cloud, or just on-premise servers. You're going to use a mix of everything, and you're probably also going to use multiple cloud environments. And so your security policies and architectures should be able to keep up with that. And so, speaking of hybrid models, it's really about having the agility from a security standpoint of being able to move the data to and from a cloud environment, or from one cloud environment to the next. And so that means that you need to make sure that the data, the security follows the data and is attached to it. So how do we, and can we help with that from a Thales perspective? Well, there's a number of solutions that we provide, but the good news is they come in the form of a platform. So when it comes to discovering and classifying your data, we have a data discovery and classification tool. When it comes to actually securing it, meaning encrypting the data, we have this so-called CipherTrust platform, which has encryption capability at every possible level, application, database, files, and so on. But we also have capacity to encrypt data in motion or in file sharing environments. So very, very versatile. And again, all part of this CipherTrust platform, which does also include that data discovery and classification as one of its modules. In terms of key protection, well, again, the CipherTrust platform can do that. HSMs as well. Combination of both works very well. And then we have this capacity to provide key management for multi-cloud environments as well. back to this support of hybrid models. And we can deliver also those platforms to some extent as a service as well. So hybrid also from a solution delivery perspective. So time for me to thank you for your attention.
Well, a huge thank you once again to Sebastian Pavi of the Thales Group there. Thank you so much for your keynote speech. But it's time now to find out who the next set of CIO winners are. And first up, we have Nasser Mater Hamed Al-Mayadi, Ministry of Interior. Muthusamy Nambarajan, Ministry of Interior. Chaka Al-Owinati, the Bahrain Institute of Banking and Finance. Qasim Nadim, Abana Enterprises Group. Ali Jassim Ahmed Al Aradi, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Kingdom of Bahrain. Faisal Ali, the Gargash Group. Mario Foster, Al Nabuda Group of Enterprises. Ahmed Naimi, Bahrain Institute of Banking and Finance. Ibrahim Kamalzadeh, Al Nabuda Automobiles. Bilal Ahmed Chowdhury, Emirates Float Glass. Azimuddin Mohammed, Al Rawabi Dairy Company. Michael Selva Kumar, Golden Tulip Nizwa Hotel. Sandeep Chakiat, Scope Investment. General Khalid Nasir, Dubai Police. Salim Ahmed, Sharjah Islamic Bank. Joseph George, the National Bank of Fujairah. Martin Sebastian, the National Takaful Company. Manoj Gopalakrishnan, Al Abar Group. Anthony Vimal, Emirates Specialty Hospital. And Augustine Amusu, Mediclinic Middle East. Well, a huge congratulations once again to our latest set of CIO winners there. We've done 40 now, but now the time has come for our panel discussion entitled Humanizing Technology and the Importance of Greater Sustainability in the Next Digital Decade. And this session is being moderated by our CNME editor, Mark Forker, and he is joined on the panel by Satish Kumar, the Sales Director for Tech Saleh, Murad Abushaker, Backend Applications Practice Head for CNS, and Feras Al-Jabi, the General Manager of Digital Okta.
Good morning and welcome to this morning's panel discussion for the CIO300 Awards. My name is Mark Forker and I'm the editor of CNME, which is the region's leading IT and technology publication. I will be the moderator for today's session and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by some of the most prominent thought leaders from the IT industry here in the Middle East. Our panel discussion is entitled Humanizing Technology and the Importance of Greater Sustainability in the Next Digital Decade. Our esteemed panelists are as follows: Satish Kumar, Sales Director at Tech Saleh; Murad Abushaki, Backend Applications Practice Head at CNS; and Feras Al-Jabi, General Manager at Can Global. Thanks a million, guys, for joining.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Mark.
Well, look, guys, as I said, I'm going to start off with the topic of sustainability. Now, there's an argument in the IT industry and beyond that sustainability and profitability, can they coincide together or are they conflicting goals? So we know that it was a key theme recently at the World Economic Forum. We know that technology and IT industry is extremely energy intensive and accounts for 10% of the world's electricity consumption. But there does seem to be a concerted effort from a lot of companies, from SMEs to large multinationals, to address the issue of sustainability and become more sustainable. So I'd like to get an overview or a view from each of you guys in terms of your own organization's approach to sustainability. So Satish, I'll come to you first. And maybe you can just let us know your views on sustainability and your organizations.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. So yes, it's clearly showed the way that we operate before, the same way we cannot operate now. You know, you would have clearly seen the during this pandemic, and till today, the way how we are operating is not the way how we operated before. And working with remote itself, many industries have experienced different benefits around the world. If you look at um, for a case of Amazon, Amazon saved 1 billion on a travel expenses and even travel safety. And remote working is now new normal, as we all know, but it's going to be double in 2021, and which is going to increase from 16.4% to 34.4%, as per World Economic Forum. Some of the research they've done it, and even for us, if you look at the way how we are operating from the day we locked down last March, I believe, till today, we are exceeding the company's expectations, and we are providing a great customer experience as well. That's again one more point to highlight. Every company is learned to evolve during this, the pandemic situation. And when leaders follow, when leaders believe and follow, then we also follow that same goals and their agenda. And for example, if you look at UAE, they announced 100-year plan in 2017, right? Yeah. But then Ms. Sinus clearly announced that they wanted to be a best government, best education, best happiest society in the world, and great economy in the world. This is what they are planning from 2017. That's basically it will work only if you are having giving a better education to the world. Yeah. Right. And which will lead that to a growth. Knowledge leads to the growth, but education leads to knowledge. Yes. And that's where we can transform the world using three things. Because if you are able to if you are able to access the education, it was a very high quality but high expensive education people used to experience. Today, because of the technology that we are having with us, we are able to easily access the education with high quality with the low cost. Yeah. So what I believe is, like, if we can reach the unreached using the technology, we can provide a quality of education, and that can transform the education to the knowledge-based economy. This is what I believe that can transform the every country's and every company's sustainability back into track. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Thanks for that, Satish. You went into your sort of comprehensive detail there in your view, and you touched on a few different aspects. And obviously, one of them was accessibility to education, which obviously education's power, and that empowers people. So that's great. I'm just going to come to you now, Murad, just in relation to sort of, as I said, sustainability, CNS's vision for sustainability, and your overview on that topic and how whether or not it can coincide with profitability within an organization.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much again, Mark, for inviting me as representative of CNS. Actually, what has been mentioned by Satish, it's very much true what's happening right now. Because what I can say before I go into the details of the sustainability and about what CNS is doing with our customers. Okay, let's admit that one fact, that most of the organizations, okay, they plan to have this digitizations or the humanize on their technologies even before the pandemic. Okay, but it was a part of a plan for 3 to 5 years. What's happened right now that the pandemic will sharply accelerate the time frame. So we are talking now, instead of 3 to 5 years, we are talking about maybe 3 to 5 months, and this is how we see that. The change evolving in a very much fast approach, or very much accelerated approach. This is in general. Now, if we're talking about the sustainability, we are looking about all the initiatives is looking around us. And actually, always I'm saying that, especially here in this part of the world, which is the UAE, The government itself or the leadership of the UAE is not waiting for the organizations, even from the foreign organizations, to come and share the initiatives or share the ideas with them, because they are very much well advanced. If you are looking about all the initiatives about 2021, looking about 2024, looking about 2040, which has been announced just a couple of days back, and Satish is explain about it. Okay, we see that the government, they already built the roadmap for all the organization, whether it's government or private, whether it's some technology companies or non-technology companies, about what will be the roadmap, where will be the focus, what kind of solutions, what kind of approach, what kind of method or engagement that need to be done in order to achieve. Because again, here, once there is an initiative, that means there is a deadline for everyone. There's a deadline for everyone who's resident here, who's coming from outside. So if you are talking about, for example, sustainability, we're looking about the continuous of initiating or announcing those initiatives. We are talking now about everything is smart. We're starting from the smart government, talking about the digital government today, talking about smart city strategy, talking about the green buildings, and all of those things. It's already old, but now all the new mandates or the new regulations, it's going on, and that's why we are seeing that this is continuous engagement, is not only one engagement. So today we are talking about smart building, green building, smart city. We're talking about the renewable energy. We're talking about the nuclear, what's going on in Abu Dhabi, and for sure for all of those initiatives, the technology, it's contributing very well of providing the base, providing the infrastructure, the foundation order for those technologies or for those initiatives to be available or to be up and running.
Yeah, it's brilliant, Murad. I think it was an important thing to highlight smart cities. I mean, we know a global effort is to make smart cities the sort of backbone of major cities going forward, and sustainability is obviously a key component of that. So it was interesting how you highlighted that the UAE is already, taking leadership in that space. Feras, I'll come to you basically with the same question as the two guys, just your view on sustainability within your own organization, and just in general, the steps that have been taken to make us not just a more sustainable society, but a more sustainable industry.
Thank you, Mark. As the name of the company holds, my company, Digital Okta, which is Itqan Global for Cloud and Digital Computing Systems, a system integrator, cloud provider that was born in the cloud back in 2016. And from this point, I would start my comments about how my company relates when it comes to the sustainability and reducing the carbon footprint. I will start from this point, reflecting on my colleagues in the panel had highlighted about the technology shifts that had helped minimizing the reduction of the footprint, of the carbon footprint. And how is this relevant to my company? Ever since we started, we are promoting the cloud as the transformation strategy and vehicle for organizations who are tech intensive, in order to minimize the buildings and the power consumption of I would say small to medium data centers that get built inside organizations, and rather shift the focus on the huge computing power available in the cloud, where cloud providers and innovators globally, and those who had joined regionally, I believe they have very, very ambitious plans in order to reduce the footprint and to provide us with a computing power that is generated from sustainable resources. Microsoft and AWS, they launched many data centers globally and hopefully regionally that runs on sustainable energy resources. There is solar, there is water, and there is others ones. And I believe the technology industry is shifting toward creating better sustainability and reduce the carbon footprint globally. And this is something that we will be witnessing it in the UAE. We have Masdar City, and we have the entire utilities organizations in UAE is shifting toward minimizing the carbon footprint. And hence, the way that we see the impact of the technology that had helped organizations in everywhere to benefit from the work from home or to learn from home, and minimize the travel, either on the land travel or the air travel or the other utilizations of large audience and meeting rooms. I believe technology that we promote had helped in minimizing the consumption of power. Look at the number of meetings that today we are conducting, like this meeting. If we have to meet together there in Dubai, maybe I have to travel from Abu Dhabi. Murad, maybe he's in Dubai, and as well for Sheikh is to come from different place. All of us, maybe we had consumed 300 to 400 liters of gas to get together, and whatever else that come across. Today, we are having this meeting with minimal power consumption in our laptops. We are sitting in our office with the normal consumption of AC, or we are sitting at home. So I believe the shift today, the new norm, had helped as a way of doing business. Us as a technology provider, we are and we helped lots of organizations in UAE to enable the teams and link it to the organization meetings culture or the collaboration, and far beyond this, to get work in a very smart workplace environment where the dependency on the energy will be getting to minimal. So this is my take on the point of the sustainability. Thank you.
That's brilliant, Faraz. Thanks a million for that. Really enjoyed it because all three of you sort of approached the same topic and from a different perspective, which is great. And that provided a lot of good balance and different, as I say, different perspectives. So thanks a million for your contributions there, guys. I'm going to move on to now talk about a little bit more about your own companies individually. As I say, your reputations, precede yourselves. And I know, for example, CNS have been in the UAE for almost 40 years and have a real strong reputation, as do Global, Can Global and Texala. So what I want to talk about, obviously the UAE celebrating its 50th anniversary, and it has been a phenomenal success and what it's achieved, going to Mars, things that other countries that have been around a lot longer have been unable to achieve. So the UAE's created this environment that allows technology to flourish. But what I wanted to ask you guys was just the role your companies play in sort of shaping that digital economy and helping the UAE become the sort of bastion of technological prowess that it is. So Satish, I'll come to you with that one first, and then I'll go to Murad and Faraz. So Satish, if you want to just reflect on your own company's journey and the role you think it's going to play in the future.
Yeah, exactly. So 13 plus years we are in UAE, and when we are a UAE based company, and we have a back office in India, 2 places supporting UAE operations. Right from the beginning, we are more cost effective for the customers because if you look at 13 years back, most of the deployments happens on site. So we used to do remote, which customer resist. But then customer over a period of time, today, if you look at every deployments are happening remotely, right? So technology is evolved in such a way that change people resist, but then it's over a period of time they've seen the benefits a lot. And 13 plus years, In UAE, we have already penetrated in every industry, 600 plus customers we onboarded, 100 plus managed services we are having. We have our own IP on the software, which is ERP solutions, working and delivering to many customers, transforming their business, change the way how they operate. That's one area. The other area is where, as a system integrator, we follow 4 practices. One is strong consulting services, which is completely de-risk for the customers because we do a lot of risk analysis and gap analysis. So ensure that system integration and cybersecurity services goes very smooth for the customers' projects. So every opportunity for us is like transforming their business through IT services. Anything which is faster, more smarter, more innovative technologies, and anything which is matured, disruptive technologies in the market, we are early adopter, and we take it to the customers and transform their business. And right after that, we manage their, the entire infrastructure based on, support multiple models we have. So this is to contribute to the growth of the economy, as well as the moment any business transforms, they are seeing the growth in their own business and contribute to the country as well, because this is Sinus vision as well, because everyone should contribute to the goal. That's their vision. And then 2040 plan is just not just a master plan, it's just a start, and we will see many more to come, and to become one of the best living country in the world. And we are all here to contribute that. And our company definitely, as a UAE company, we are contributing to the maximum what we can. Yeah. This is my.
That's brilliant, Satish. That's brilliant. Thanks a million for that. And Murad, I'm just going to come to you. Obviously, as I highlighted, the UAE's went on an incredible journey over the last 50 years. CNS have been around for over 4 decades. So you've been there during all of it, and you've played a key role in sort of shaping the IT ecosystem here. What's your view on the next 50 years, and how are CNS going to continue to remain relevant and be a key player and being a big part of the future here in the UAE?
Okay. Again, to start with, when we are talking about 30 years or 40 years or even 5 years, I think it's very difficult now for anyone to predict what's going to happen, because that's what's happened in 2020. It's changed the whole way of our thinking, of our planning, of the way how we're putting the strategy and all of this stuff. So, and even yesterday was in a call with someone, and I told him, customer, one of the government entities, I told him, what's your priorities for the coming 1 to 3 years? He said that it's very difficult. I said, it's okay for now till 1 year. He said that it's difficult. From now till 3 months. He said that's yes, but I can give you a high level because I am not guarantee or I'm not confirmed about what's going to happen in the coming 3 months. So this is the way how it's going. So a prediction for the coming 10 years or 50, 20 years or 30 years, I think it's a bit difficult. But I will tell you exactly about how CNS now we strategize our approach into the market right now. We look at it from top to bottom about what's going on now in the market, how is the people is living. So we define that there is 5 consequential of the values, okay, as an implication of what's happened for this pandemic, okay. There is 5 things or 5 questions that most of the people they are asking themselves, and I think the answer, it can help you to put your strategy ahead. The first one, okay, is there anyone can trust the future? This is number 1. Trusting the future, that's mean I know what's going to happen after 5 years. I know what's going to happen after 10 years, and I can plan accordingly. So here we are looking about some industries it might be impact, and this is where it will help us to say that this industry, it will be a focus industry or not. Even if it will be a focus industry, what areas that we need to focus more on the other areas based on the normal, on the new norm, what's going on. The second thing that also most of the people they are asking, if I can do it online, shall I do it? Shall I continue doing it even after the pandemic? So here, if we are talking about us as a human, okay, about the way how we are managing our day-to-day or managing our personal or even business. Now it's almost mixed between, we can say 70 to 80% online and 10 to 20% physically, as Firas mentioned. So out of the 70 to 80% now online, what I'm doing online, is there a potential for me to continue using those online tools, okay, for the future or forever? So this is also one of the other area or other pillar that we looked at it. The third thing, the health. Everyone now is at a priority for everyone is the health. It's my health. Then the rest of the things, it's second and third and X priority for me. So as long as that the health is a top priority, that means this will give an indicator about the healthcare sector, about how you can really contribute, okay, of ensuring the well-being of the people. What kind of tools, what kind of technology that you can offer it. You can adapt first and then offer it to the healthcare industry. The fourth thing about is the home. Most of the people now, they are feeling a little bit comfortable, okay, while they are staying at home. And also it's the same what Firas mentioned about, we can do everything from home while the family are there around us, while the other social activities, that's it's accessible by us. It's not like before that most of us that are spending 10 or 12 or 13 hours at office. No, we can spend maybe the same number of hours while we are staying at home, maybe more, but at least, yeah, we can mix it between the social, the personal, and the business. So what kind of things that we can offer it, okay, for the people who is working from home, who is really feel comfortable while they are staying at home, while the people who are staying more at their home, okay? And the last thing, which is, as we said, that's we talked about it, humanization, how we can humanize, how we can really contribute into the society, even if we are a technology provider. Society does not mean only, for example, to the corporates who we are dealing with, even with the government, how we can really help them to adopt the new technology, how we can help them to accelerate all the initiatives, what they are doing, which will reflect to the citizens and the people who is using their services. So based on the conclusion, or as a conclusion of the 5 pillars or the 5 things what I have mentioned, okay, we have built our strategy here in CNS, and we said that there's some areas we need to define or we need to focus on it. And when we are talking about the technology, for sure, connectivity, it's one of the things where we can help all the organization and help all the remote workers, okay, to continue things what they're supposed to do, okay, while they are staying at home or staying wherever they are. Second thing about the cloud, where we need to have the environment, the application available all the time. Is not about, for example, if there is a connectivity in this company or if there is any failure happen in X organization, that means there will not be any access. No, all the cloud service providers, they are very much mature when it comes to the availability. Everyone, or most of them, they are providing 99.999. So having the application for the organization inside one of, or hosted in one of the cloud service provider, or even having the subscription or the services from the cloud, I think this will be very much accessible and mature at the same time, where we can ensure the sustainability and the continuity of the work, what they are doing. Talking about the AI also, it's one of the major pillars right now. AI, it's a very much big word, but again, at the end of the day, the AI, it's something where it can really help you or give you a recommendation or hints about what you need to do, where you are today, okay, what issue that you are facing and how you can overcome and how you can forecast for the future. So the AI as part of the data management, this is one also of the focused area. That's what we are doing about it, what we are taking care of it in CNS. So talking about 4 pillars, talking about the cloud, talking about the digital transformation of how we can help our customers also to expose all services, their services to be through a digital platform, having the platform or having the environment inside the cloud, and ensure the connectivity all the time. So this is how we looked at it, and this is how we are set our strategy moving forward from mid-2020 till today, and we are continuing working on this strategy.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks for that, Murad. I think I'm one of the people that you mentioned about getting comfortable at home, as you can see. I'm very comfortable here. But no, really interesting point. You covered a lot of ground there. I found that trusting the future element particularly interesting. But thanks for that, Murad. Really appreciate it. Fergus, I'll move on to you. Same question, obviously. I've spoke to you number of times. You've had a really decorated and distinguished career in the IT industry. You're well positioned and well placed to have seen the evolution the UAE has undergone. And just if you can highlight the role sort of your company has played, like our two colleagues here have done. And, you know, as I say, it is difficult to predict the future, but what role your company is going to play and how you think the country is going to evolve and continue to evolve.
Thank you. Digital Okta, probably the spin-off or the new brand new company that started in the digital transformation initiatives that had helped itself to excel and move forward in key verticals in terms of the government organizations, education, healthcare, defense, homeland security, and general services. Myself, I used to be the GM for Itqan. We have done some sort of changes, but ever since 1999 until today, I've been an active player as a Firas and as the company that we worked from the launch of back in 1999 to the e-commerce as a country initiated it through Etisalat at that time, Comtrust, all the way to eGov, all the way to the digital, to the mobile, to the mobility, and all the way through the smart government back in 2014 and all the AI initiatives that happened recently. My company used to be always a player, contributor in these initiatives by being focused on the value that technology transformations brings to the industry. In the past year, we had learned a lot how to be a contributor where the entire country had not really dropped any effort in order to enhance the quality of life for everybody under this unprecedented times. And we found ourselves amidst the frontliners helping schools to remain online, training teachers to use Teams, and contributing to the virtual meetings and work from home for critical gov agencies and entities in order to contribute to the continuity of the economy and maintain the life going on, despite that none of us in this world or in this industry had lived such a pandemic situation. It's the speed of adaptation and how can you respond to such a crisis, to such unprecedented times that hits you in every aspect of your life, at home, at the office, in the street, and through your network of friends and families who get impacted or who get affected. But again, back to the point, Mark, related to the 50th anniversary of UAE and the year of 2020 and the 2021, where nothing had been stopped from the plans. And the launch to the Mars journey started in 2020. The successful arrival happened in 2021. So the entire environment is really an enduring and it's a challenging that gives everybody the hope and gives everybody the optimism that this time will not remain. We can, each and everyone at his own role or contribution to the society, will be able to contribute and this mosaic, which is merely mixed of very homogeneous pictures in the society of UAE and in the economy of UAE, we are contributing and contributing positively, and the positiveness and the achievements of the country and of the economy inspires everybody in his role. We as an IT and digital transformation cloud provider. We see the horizon is really wide, bright, and the success breeds success, as we know. Today, we are part of this echo of the achievements. We are excited about what will continue to be there. It is unfortunately that there are many industries under this pandemic had been affected in a very negative way. Those industries we had never expected that they will go down, and I mean here airlines and the travel. When we had seen other industries related to food, related to retailers, to the online commerce providers, they started to consume more cloud presence websites and trading. We had seen the social media shifting lots of the life aspects. And the technology industry, the internet, the providers were the least that been affected when it comes to the others. Yes, economically, no one can deny that there is a drop. However, the innovation and the opportunity and the challenge is open for everybody to reshape their value proposition to the industry, to the market, and to the entire situation. And probably, as Murad said, the revisiting your value proposition, your strategy is a dynamic. If we used to do it every year, now you have to do it every quarter to sustain in this race. So yes, we are proud and we are excited of being part of this UAE economy as a good corporate citizens and as a contributor to the overall growth. The challenge in our industry, we have, as you see, 3 ministries that takes care of the technology in the new cabinet. There is a ministry for AI and work from home, for advanced technology, and for eGov. So the role that we play today as an IT companies, I believe, is vital, and we have to continue. We bring behind us a very good legacy, and we are part of this fabric, and we continue to be. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much to our panel there. We really do hope that you've enjoyed that interactive and engaging panel discussion, which has highlighted the importance of leveraging technology to build a more sustainable world. And now we have a video from our event partner, Tech Sala. And now, yes, it's time to return to our award ceremony to find out who our next group of award winners is. Let's find out. And to start off this next set of winners, we have Shafiq Ibrahim, Al Fadan Group, Amjad Hussain, Malik Exchange, Kiran Awad, Export Trading Group, ETG World, Thomas Chirian, Mashrek Bank, Waid Khatib, Innova Facilities Management Services Middle East, Riyad Saleh, Souk Al Jubail, Harvin Stanley, Cheel Mina, Hatim Mustafa, Royal and Sun Alliance Insurance, Ramesh Varma, Arab Bank for Investment and Foreign Trade, Sheikha bin Katim Al Mazuki, Sharjah Asset Management, Ranish Nalakath, EFS Facility Services Group, Hari Kumar Nair, Minor Hotels, Fayez Ahmed Badubai, Al Yusuf Group, Shuman Azaman, Ali & Sons, Martin Walgren, GAC Logistics, Aftab Hamid Khan, Canadian University Dubai, Iyab Al-Humaiti, Wall Street Exchange, Mahmoud Yassin, United Arab Bank, Ayman Al-Aleshi, Etisalat, and Tabet Bakit Kamis, Central Bank of the UAE. Well, well done yet again to our latest set there of CIO300 Award winners for 2021. And it's time now for another keynote speech, which is going to be delivered by Dr. Christopher Cooper, General Manager, Infrastructure Solutions Group, Lenovo MEA.
The pandemic has actually served as a catalyst for digital transformation. Technology has the power to overcome the noise about volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, and to help businesses stay connected with their customers, to innovate and to thrive. The source of that innovation is data. We're generating seemingly endless amounts of it. But if people know how to harness it, learn from it, then they can springboard from it, and they can stay ahead of the curve. As many people are saying, data is the new economy, be it the new oil or the new gold rush. The data economy is supported by cutting-edge technologies such as AI, 5G, edge computing, IoT, and blockchain. And the data economy will in turn support its highly important partner. That is the circular or green economy. But data on its own, it's powerless. Data doesn't transform the world, but people do. It takes smarter, more ambitious, more driven humans to bring it to life, to apply it, to derive its meaning, to give it purpose, to enable and utilize the good data and recognize and dismiss the bad data. To know that data doesn't belong to your IT department, but with every level of the organization, and perhaps most important of all, at the board level, to see its potential to dramatically accelerate their organizations, improve their industries, and solve humanity's greatest challenges. Artificial intelligence applied to data will augment humans and not replace us. Human-centric technology will free us to be more creative, more strategic, more forward-thinking. Humans will use their innate and unique capabilities in reasoning, critical thinking, and creativity to make data work more intelligently for humans. And the leaders that seek to understand more about the power of their data, and more importantly, empower their people to use the data, the executives, the engineers, the managers alike. They're the visionaries and the tech optimists. They are the data-centered.
Well, a huge thank you there for that wonderful keynote, Christopher. It's time now, of course, to find out who our next batch of award winners are. First up, it's Samir Khoury, Ministry of Health and Prevention. Ali Fakhruddin, BFC Group Holdings. Sabri Yahya, Etisalat. Ahmad Yahya, American Hospital. Ahmed Ibrahim Al-Ahmad. Nikhil. Umesh Mulchandani. Bin Dasmal General Trading. Samir Khan, African and Eastern. Talal Mohammed Ahmad Al-Ali, Mohammed bin Rashid Housing Establishment. Mohammed Hamed, Ceramica Platino Group. Anoop Das, Burn Equipment Rental. Ellis Wang, Mashrek Bank. Matthew Sheath, Majid Al Futtaim Ventures. Feroz Ahmed Chowdhury, Alliance Food Company. Khalid Jalal, Gulf Aluminium Rolling Mill. Aditya Kaushik, Adyard Abu Dhabi. Hatim Zugari, Netis International Africa. Brigadier Mata Ali Karbash Al Sadi, the Federal Authority for Identity and Citizenship. Ramakrishnan Natarajan, Emirates Hospitals Group. Sultan Al Nayadi, the Ministry of Interior, and Mohammed Al Ali, the Ministry of Education, United Arab Emirates. Well, a very well done indeed once again to all of our latest winners there. Now, before we move on to find out who our final set of winners are, I'd now like to throw over to a one-on-one interview between CNME editor Mark Forker and Lakhwinder Singh, the pre-sales manager for the META region for cloud protection and licensing at the Thales Group.
So, look, obviously, Lakhwinder, in my role as a technology journalist in the Middle East, I've been covering the topic of digital transformation for the last number of years. Now, I've witnessed, and I think everybody has, a huge acceleration of digital transformation in the last 12 months, which was triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic. Another consequence of that shift has been an acceleration towards cloud. And that's what I wanted to speak to you about. It's created a lot of new opportunities, but also challenges. So what I wanted to ask you are, what do you think are the key steps enterprises need to implement and take into account in order to balance cloud agility with security?
Yeah, Mark, that's a good question, by the way. So actually, nowadays, I'm seeing these questions from a lot of, not only from the customers, also from some institutes, right? Especially who are, helping the customers to move into this cloud journey, right? So what is, I feel like before any of the company, or either it is a government sector or they belongs to a private sector. So they should do some of their, risk analysis when it comes to their workloads, which they are planning to move them to the cloud, or it could be a private, or it could be in a public cloud like an Azure, AWS, or Google. So what I consider myself the first step of any company should think about what is the risk profile, of these workloads, which they are planning to move them to the cloud. So if you see, like, you might don't have all the workload are carrying the same risk profile, right? So it's more like some of them are like a low risk profile, some of them a medium risk profile, and some of them are on high risk file. So when you see like these workloads are categorized on the basis of your risk analysis. So you see, like, most of the time, the couple of main things, which is, I feel myself like, as a security consultant, like customer has to bother, like, now what is your risk profile with your workloads. So how you're going to manage the access to this risk profile once they are moved to the cloud. And plus, second, the data. So separately, your workload is going, so your lot of sensitive data is going to this cloud. So this is where, you can consider, let's an example, like, for example, you categorize your workload as a low risk profile, so which is less sensitive, right? So if you're moving those workloads to the cloud, you don't have any issues because it's not that sensitive for your organization. Tomorrow, if there is any compromise or breach happen accidentally, not because of you, maybe, some other reason. So you can, you can just rely on the encryption or a no encryption in the workload when it comes to it's in moving to the cloud. If you see, like, if you have the workload which is with a medium risk profile, then you should definitely look into some control, a security control, when you're moving those workloads to the cloud. So you can think of maybe like, going for a native encryption from the cloud provider, and you're keeping the encryption keys with you, so that you're managing at least the keys, the trust with you, so that tomorrow, if there is any compromise happen, at least you have the keys with you, so that nobody can take that data out. So the same way goes with the high risk profile workloads. So you're moving the high profile workload, which is very highly sensitive for your organization. So in those cases, maybe you can follow a practice like bring your own encryption or hold your own key. So where you're controlling the whole encryption and protection of the data, and also the managing the access control to that data with yourself with the help of the tools. If I take an example, we as a company, as a Thales, we have some very good solution when it comes to managing this identity access when you're thinking to move those application workloads in the cloud, which is like safeness trust access. And also on the top of that, we have some very good cloud security data protection product like Cipher Trust Manager, which helps the company to decide what is the risk profile with that data. Let's do the discovery of data, find the risk, and then move this data. Either you want to do a native encryption, or you want to do the bring your own key, bring your own encryption. So you have to manage these all particular points, which helps any customer to think about whenever it comes to the, I would say, cloud migration project or cloud first project. So yeah, that's a
No, brilliant answer. Like, when they're very comprehensive overview, and it was interesting how you talked about the importance of categorizing, those workloads, and deeming them either low risk or high risk. And as you say, you're giving them the autonomy, or it's important that they have the autonomy if it is a high risk or a sensitive data that they're transferring, that they have the tools in terms of encryption or whatever other services there to be able to become involved in that. So that was excellent. Thanks a million for your observations there. Obviously talking as well about connectivity, and we live in an era where everything's connected, and IoT was a key factor in that, and it underpins all of that. But I've spoken to many people, security consultants like yourself, over the years, who have expressed their fears over IoT, because with everything connected, that just gives these sophisticated cyber attackers more opportunities to exploit and cause harm. Now, we've seen the impact of IoT in terms of healthcare, and the benefits of allowing doctors to be able to help people in remote locations. We've seen it in smart sensors in terms of addressing urban congestion in major cities. But what I wanted to ask you about is, what do you think are the key factors that are required in order to deploy a secure IoT?
Okay, yeah. So that's, I think, a good point again, Mark. It's like a second question goes when it comes to protecting, again, when it comes to your digital transformation initiatives, right? So the most of the one very common digital transformation initiatives where most of the government sector, let's take an example, you just took some of them, right? I just take an example of smart meter, like, having a, energy sector when it comes to, putting a smart meters at your house, and then that meter is taking, the readings, and it's putting that reading or giving that reading to backend system. Your bill is generated on that, because on the basis of the reading which smart meter has taken, and you pay the bill, right? So there is nothing, no paper, nobody's coming to your house to read the reading. So this is what exactly the IoT and this, the digital transformation initiative is going, right, with the help of this kind of technology. But again, what I feel like, when you're thinking or moving into this kind of technology, especially which is very core, based on the IoT devices. If you take as a smart meter as an IoT device, and there's an IoT backend platform, right? So when you have these devices and the backend platform, the main the area of the security is, which is the main factor, is how you're protecting the digital identity of the device itself. So you can imagine, if you have a device like a smart meter again, so you definitely get a certificate, which is like usually a digital identity of that device.
Yes,
so
identify the device. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So when you're doing the manufacturing of this device, then you should have that proper digital identity protection. So how you're purging those digital identity on those IoT devices? Can they integrate with the secure identification and authentication into the devices? So that's the first question for the IoT. So what happened, like if you have a very right solution which help you to protect these digital identity certificates in a secure manner for when it comes to the devices point of view, and this goes to the backend system, and when these IoT devices talking to the backend system, that thing also needs to be protected by maybe getting some encryption, like using SSL encryption with the right certificate, exchanging the keys, and protecting the data at rest in the backend IoT system platform.
Yeah.
So this is one of the core security need, I believe, of any IoT kind of initiative for any digital transformation. And what I have seen, like when it comes to the Thales, so we help the people to to get this kind of security bind with their IoT platforms. So we are giving product like Thales hardware security modules is the particular products which is FIPS compliant, which helps to the manufacturing to create the very like a secure key for their digital identity. And then again, that particular key is protected, and the communication has to be used for encryption to the channel of backend IoT devices. And you can use, again, as I discussed, the Cipher Trust Manager before, like which is our data
Yes.
protection platform to protect the IoT platform itself. So these are the very couple of, like I would say, very core, I think, concepts of the security, which every organization should think of before going into these IoT projects or a digital transformation
Yeah,
projects.
very interesting. And obviously, a lot of the organizations, they're probably not doing that, especially I found it very interesting in terms of actually manufacturing and being involved
Yes.
in the manufacture of the device. So just to clarify that, that's what you're saying is key in order to have a secure IoT device. You nearly
Yeah.
need to be at the manufacturing point before having this device and that doesn't have these capabilities. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So this is what I was saying, like,
Yeah.
the industry has to follow the industrial compliant digital identity kind of, I would say,
Approach.
regulations and approach, right? So which help them to, to protect the identity in the right way so that it will never compromise. Because as you said, like earlier, like, there are a lot of, guarding against forgery attacks is happening on these devices, right? So they have to guard against the forgery attacks. So that's the only the way how you're protecting the digital identity of this whole IoT system. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it makes now what you're saying makes so much sense to me because obviously it does make sense to manufacture something that's secure before it becomes a connected device. It does make a lot of sense, and as we've talked about, that hasn't been happening. So excellent point and great insight. Again, it's an education process for me here. I'm learning all the time, so that's always a good thing. So thanks for that. Just final question. I'm really enjoying the discussion so far, but just want to talk to you about the global data threat report that you compiled last year, and some very interesting statistics emerged from that report. And one of the stats that jumped off the page at me was 27% of entrepreneurs interviewed said that quantum computing will be a threat to sensitive data in the next 12 months, and 72% of organizations see quantum computing affecting their cryptographic operations in the next 5 years. So again, just as your expertise as a security consultant, what challenges do you foresee from a security aspect, and how do you think that will be addressed?
Okay, that's a good good area to talk. Actually, I think it's more a future oriented kind of.
Quantum computing. Absolutely. I'm asking you to get your crystal ball out here and predict the future.
Yes, that's right. So actually, we are working already, by the way, on this particular quantum safe encryption kind of technologies and products already as a Thales, because we know as a company also, like, yes, definitely we don't need to think about coming 1 or 2 years. So we need to think about next 10 to 15 years where the the industry is going, right? So you pick up the topic. Nowadays, encryption and cryptography is not a new science, right? So it's like from many million of years, like long years, it's there, right? So what's happening, this quantum computers, which is coming or which is, I would say, is getting built by some of the organizations, they're definitely going to hit any day. Like if I see, like as a company, we see like quantum computers might come maybe in the next 5 years or maybe next 10 years, right? So that's something depend upon the organizations who are building on that. So what is happening, it's all goes into the the cryptographic basic concepts, like when it comes to the the key material, the keys which is used for encryption or for digital signatures, especially in RSA side, so they can get compromised right away. So this is what the big challenge for the organizations brings, like a big organizations like especially defense sector, especially the the core ministries like Ministry of Interiors and all those embassies. So where the data life cycle is not 3 to 4 years. The data life cycle would be like 10 years, 15, 20, 40,
Yeah.
50 years.
Wow.
So what is
Right.
happening?
It's a lot broader.
Yeah, that's right. So once you create that kind of data, which is has a life cycle is maybe more than 15 to 20 years. So you think as an organization, okay, we need to make sure this data which is creating or which is getting encrypted or protected is quantum safe or not, right? So because what happened tomorrow when the data is you create the data and the quantum computers comes in and somebody get a piece of that data, and then those data can be breaked if you're not using the right quantum algorithms or quantum resistance random number generator or the keys, right? So that's where customers, I've seen the challenges with the mostly the government sector and defense sector organization. So what they are thinking to go for the products which Thales has at the moment. We are already working in advance, like HSMs and network encryption products, where we have the partnership with some of the key organization who's working in the quantum cryptography science from the last few years. And so we are partnership with them. So we have collaborated their product with our product. So, and even we are planning to launch the quantum resistant algorithms in our products, and our products is coming with the quantum chips which create the quantum keys as a source code. So this is where I would say, like, the challenge is very, very simple for any organizations. It's all depend upon what is the life cycle of your data, which is you're creating today. So if you're creating a data whose life cycle is more than 5 to 10 years, you think about, is that creation of data or protection of the mechanism which is you're using is quantum safe or not? So this is something customer has to think about.
Oh, brilliant. Look, Wonder, another great answer. And again, you went into sort of forensic detail on what needs to be done in terms of the life cycle of that data management and that. So look, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Well, a huge thank you there. We really do hope that you enjoyed that very interesting discussion, which covered some very relevant and pressing topics, such as the security of your migration journey to the cloud and what impact quantum computing will play in the future IT landscape. Well, now it's time to find out who the final set of CIO winners are for 2021. And first up, we have Hadi Anwar, Group 42. Nadima Al-Mayani, Edge Group. Nabil Zainal, Ministry of Human Resources and Emiratization. Hamdi Sharif, Dubai Chamber. Mohammed Salih Al-Hamadi, the Ministry of Interior. Sama Abu Kadra, Khalifa University. Sridhar Reddy, Aldar Properties. Fahim Al-Nuaimi, Ankabut. Nadia Al-Kabanji, Zayed University. Bino Balan, Asta DM Healthcare. Dharmesh Patel, Global Aerospace Logistics. Firas Chihada, 2454. Hemant Kumar, Al-Shamal. Ramesh Venkat, Fly Dubai. Arul Jos Vijin, Dubai International Financial Centre Courts. Yunis Othman, Dubai Customs. Noura Al-Muheri, Abu Dhabi Global Market. Warren Price, Dubai Petroleum. And Amina Abdul Rahim, the Engineering Office. Well, that brings us to the end of the CIO300 Awards for 2021. And we would like to take this opportunity to extend our sincerest congratulations to all of our wonderful CIO winners, and a massive thank you, of course, to all of our sponsors who have helped make these awards happen. Our cloud transformation partner, Digital Okta. Our event partner, Tech Saleh. Our gold partners, Exclusive Networks, Thales and CNS. And our silver sponsor, Lenovo. And thank you so much to each and every one of you.